At the moment, the circuit is bone dry. Fingers crossed it stays that way. But of course, you remember, MotoGP races are flag to flag. So all could happen, and the weather can change very, very quickly here. But at the moment, if I was a betting man, I would say that we might just get away with a dry race for MotoGP coming up. We've got the Ducati in the hands of rookie Jorge Martin on pole position, with Pecco Bagnaia second, and I'm sure a very happy Fabio Quartararo in third, whose chances of winning increase with the weather staying too as well. Joan Mir, I don't think, will be too upset that it's looking like it could be anyone's guess as to who's going to be victorious here in Austria. And of course, remember, Marc Marquez looking for his first win here at the Red Bull Ring, and was he's had his moments so far this weekend, and he was fastest in this morning's warm-up. We'll be back with all of the MotoGP coverage from round 10 of the MotoGP World Championship in just a few moments. It's race day in MotoGP after a 5-week-long summer break since Assen in June. The Red Bull Ring circuit in Austria sets the scene for round 10 of the championship in 2021, and we begin the second half of the season with question marks over the weather. Welcome to MotoGP. We're back at the Red Bull Ring here in Spielberg. 4.3 kilometres in length, 10 corners in all, 7 of them right and 3 of them left, if you consider the kink on the straight after turn 1 a left-hander. The all-time race record belongs to Andrea Dovizioso. No one has won more races around this circuit than the former Ducati rider. Will it be another win for Ducati today? Will we see more drama through turns 9 and 10? Certainly hope so. Coming up in MotoGP then, Jorge Martin is on pole for Pramac Ducati as he dreams of a maiden Grand Prix victory. Also on the hunt for his first MotoGP win, Pecco Bagnaia starts second. Will he be the man to deliver for Ducati? Fabio Quartararo leads the World Championship and is third on the grid, but will the weather hamper his chances? And Mir is armed with a squatting device and he starts fifth, looks fast, looking to launch himself back into championship contention. Welcome to Austria. We return from the summer break with a few question marks about those clouds that are surrounding the mountains and hills around the Red Bull Rings as we get ready for action in MotoGP. Round 10 of the World Championship coming your way. The famous bull located in the middle of the paddock here. Fans are back. We're expecting a full capacity here next week for the Grand Prix of Austria. Of course, this a late addition after the Grand Prix of Finland was cancelled, but it's always great to return to probably one of the finest complexes we have on our calendar, and certainly one of the most picturesque as well. It's a shame that the sun isn't shining because this place is stunning when the blue skies are out, but no blue skies so far. However, the good news is, as you can see from these live pictures, no umbrellas either. But is there rain on the way? Half an hour away we are from racing. You can just see in the distance there are a few clouds lingering. Steve Day, Matt Burt and Simon Crafar then to talk you through the 10th round of this World Championship. And for the second time this season, the rookie Jorge Martin will start from pole position. Matt cannot wait to see what unfolds here in Austria. As ever, MotoGP at its unpredictable finest.
Yes, and I think most people over the next 30 minutes or so are going to be paying a lot of attention to what's above their heads, because there has been rain threatening around this Styrian Grand Prix circuit most of the day. We got away with it in Moto3 and in Moto2. Valentino Rossi then starting to wind down towards the end of the most incredible Grand Prix career in history. There's been tributes pouring in from all around the world after that press conference on Thursday announcing 2021 will be his farewell to MotoGP. Good life ballet, it was very nice. A tweet there from Max Biaggi, his great nemesis. I think that was probably Welcome 2004, which will stand the test of time and live long in the memory as one of the greatest ever MotoGP races we will see. The Rossi army, well, they're out in force. I've already seen some t-shirts around, Grazie Valle, so somebody's already got those printed pretty quickly. And, yeah, there's a sea of yellow already around this Red Bull Ring circuit. What can the doctor do, though, from a lowly 17th on the grid? Middle of row 6 goes Rossi.
Second in the World Championship for Pramac Ducati rider Johann Zarco. Not had the speed necessarily all weekend, but as he has done all season long, Matt, when it matters, he delivers. He's on the second row, and he's not had the speed on other circuits before, and somehow he finds the result on the day. Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way with this man, isn't there? Johann Zarco, the 31-year-old, qualified in the top 6 in all 10 races so far this season, and when he has seen the checkered flag, he's been top 10 in every Grand Prix. Can he finally find a way to the top step of the podium? What about this man? Can he continue Ducati's golden run here at the Red Bull Ring? 5 wins in 6 visits in MotoGP to this famous Spielberg track. Andrea Dovizioso, Jorge Lorenzo and Andrea Iannone, previous Ducati winners. Will it be Zarco? Will it be Bagnaia? Could it be Miller? Or could it be the poleman Martin adding their name to that illustrious roster? He's playing down his chances a little, Pecco Bagnaia. Probably just doesn't want to add any pressure to what is already a high-pressure atmosphere here These guys expect victories at the Red Bull Ring. They know how important it is, not just for Pecco Bagnaia, but also for Jack Miller as well, to try and nibble away at this man's championship lead.
Yeah, Fabio Quartararo, the outstanding rider of the first half of the 2021 MotoGP World Championship, back on the front row yet again. He's surrounded by the Red Army, 4 Ducatis inside the top 6. Fabio Quartararo and Joan Mir, the only non-Ducati representation on those first 2 rows. At the moment, Fabio Quartararo, I'm sure, pretty happy to see a full dry circuit and even some bright skies emerging. It's been dark for most of the day since we arrived at the track this morning in heavy rain here in Spielberg. But Fabio Quartararo, clearly his preference was for a dry race, and if there was going to be some weather impact, he wanted it full wet. He does not want a flag-to-flag scenario, Fabio Quartararo. The Yamaha in mixed conditions has wilted already so far this year, and did so on Friday in FP2. There were concerns from Quartararo and Rossi about rear grip from the Yamaha in those half-and-half conditions.
Marc Marquez, the 8-time world champion, fastest in the wet this morning in warm-up, chatting through strategies with Takaya Yokoyama and his crew chief there, Santi Hernandez, and engineer Jenny Anderson. Number 93 hasn't been on the top step here in Austria before. Does that change today? Might
be hard work for Maverick Viñales. Clearly he's got the speed for the podium, but unfortunately in Q2 there were some engine problems. He felt like the engine was just stuttering when he was on the throttle, and that's why Maverick Viñales will have an awful lot of work to do from down at the back of the 3rd row in 9th place. But if you can get away well and be aggressive and make some overtakes, well, his race pace, pretty special. As always here in the Red Bull Ring, well, they say Red Bull gives you wings, and there's a fine set of wings as the typical pre-race aerial show gets underway.
Yeah, great shows going on. Perfectly timed, Jack Miller. Thumbs up from the Aussie, number 43. On the 2nd row.
How big's your cigar, Jack?
Well, he'll be hoping he'll celebrate with one later on, perhaps, and a bottle of bubbly as well. Jack Miller starts from the 2nd row. Of course, on the podium twice here last year. He thought he'd won it in the Grand Prix of Styria until Miguel Oliveira shot through last minute to rob him of his 2nd MotoGP victory.
Good to see Jack's got some pre-race nerves there. He looks cool as a cucumber, doesn't he? He knows he's got a great chance of taking a 3rd victory of the season if we do get a flag-to-flag race. Well, the last time that happened, of course, Jack Miller prevailed in Le Mans. What's he going to do now? Spell out Jack Miller's name with the smoke. Aleix Espargaro then, what can he do? Another excellent weekend so far for the factory at Aprilia, man. We expect him to be joined in 2022 by fellow Spaniard Maverick Viñales. What a coup that would be for the Nawali factory. Aleix Espargaro 7th. He heads that 3rd row with Marquez and Viñales alongside him. Talk about an experienced 3rd row. That certainly fits the bill. And talking of experience, this man fits that profile, and what a return to MotoGP action it's been for Dani Pedrosa.
It really has been, yeah. He's been in and around that top 10 and hovering around it all weekend. His first race since Valencia 2018. But Matt, you know, free practice qualifying is one thing. How are the nerves ahead of his first race back since the end of 2018? Dani Pedrosa fans hoping for a big result. I think anything inside the top 10 would be a marvellous, marvellous result for the little samurai.
Would be a stunning performance. What lies in store then for our current world champion, Joan Mir? The only real blot on his copybook when he was pushing the limit on used tyres to find the limit in turn 9 in FP4 yesterday. And of course the big technical news this weekend has been the arrival, the long overdue arrival of what you're about to look at right now. Suzuki's new rear ride height device. You'll see Joan Mir's left thumb there flick the switch, and then that rear will squat down and give Suzuki some of the vital acceleration, particularly in 1st, 2nd and 3rd gears, that they've been lacking since rear ride height devices became essential kit in MotoGP back towards the end of 2019. So keep a close eye on Joan Mir and Alex Rins, because with that new rear ride height device, they feel like they're going to be a much more of a potent threat to Ducati and Honda here today.
Mir was sensational here in Austria last year, should have won until that red flag came out. he'll fancy his chances here today. If this stays dry, this could be Joan Mir's race.
Well, he's about to head out, astonishingly, for race number 424. Not too many left, sadly, in the chapter of this man's great career. Valentino Rossi, there's a lot of work to do for him from the middle of that 6th row in 17th place. But I think, like Quartararo, he'll be hoping that we either get these conditions full dry or full wet, because in the mixed he was struggling on Friday. In fact, in FP2 he was last.
It's MotoGP race 169 for the returning Cal Crutchlow, number 35. Don't expect anything too big from him. A testing weekend for Cal Crutchlow, replacing, of course, the recovering Franco Morbidelli, who we send our best wishes to, back at home in Italy as he recovers from knee surgery.
Jorge Martin then about to come to pole position for the 2nd time in his MotoGP career. Kashimain's back to Doha, round 2. He played down his chances of a podium fight there, given, of course, it was only his 2nd appearance in the Premier class, and then he went out and shocked the world, led for the first 18 laps. Can he do the same again and be a serious podium contender? He cast doubts on his victory potential, but certainly thinks he'll be in the mix for the top 3.
We weren't sure we were going to get an aerial display today, because it was supposed to be absolutely chucking it down with rain at this point. As it is, the fans are in for a treat up in the sky, and they're hoping for a treat down on circuit as well. It hasn't quite gone to plan weather-wise for this man as yet. Pol Espargaro was hoping for a hurricane. There's his words, not mine, yesterday when he spoke to the media after a pretty tough Saturday. We've seen every single tyre on offer so far this weekend, soft, medium and hard in terms of slicks, and the soft and the medium in the wets as well. Do the weather conditions change the minds of the riders from FP4 yesterday? The track temperature's slightly different. Will we see a second flag-to-flag race of 2021, following on from all the drama and action that unfolded in Le Mans earlier on this year? Remember, we've still got, what, just 22 minutes left before we start racing. Things could change in that time, and of course Simon Crafar down on the grid, I'm sure, will keep us informed if the dark clouds start hovering over.
So Jorge Martin then heads to pole position for the 2nd time in his MotoGP career, the 23rd time in his Grand Prix career. He was always Mr. Saturday afternoon in Moto3.
Well, Matt, when he was on pole position for the 2nd race of 2021, he said that he was looking to make a good start, but follow, learn, try and work out what the best thing is to do in MotoGP. He led for so long. There is an argument for saying a rider who absolutely loves this circuit, by the way, Jorge Martin, it's not against the... He could win this. I mean,
yeah,
genuinely, he could win this. I think he's got probably not quite the pace of some of the others out there, but really do believe Jorge Martin could throw a spanner in the works here, which sounds a bit obvious when he's on pole. But
well, as he showed in Doha, if you get to the front on the Ducati, they're not easy motorcycles to overtake, are they? Particularly around a couple of the drag race short straights here in Austria. Let's pop down to pole position. Simon Crafar, I'm delighted to say, is with the poleman's team boss, Francesco Guidotti. Down to you guys.
Yes, I am. French qualifying. What do you think his realistic chances are in the race?
Jorge, you never know, because what he showed in the first 2 races, you could expect everything. I mean, so let's see how is the pace, the race pace, also from the other riders. That's and we will see. But I think I can do a very good race.
And Johan Zarco?
John, I've seen him more focused this morning, and yeah, he's still not comfortable 100%, but usually he didn't upset us, so he will do his own race, and we'll see.
Thank you, Francesco.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks to Francesco Guidotti. And a quick recap of the grid. Martin, Bagnaia and Quartararo, your front row. Miller, Mir and Zarco go from row 2. Then it's Aleix Espargaro, Marc Marquez and Maverick Vinales at an all-Spanish row 3. Nakagami, who was quickest in FP1 on Friday, 10th out of Alex Marquez. And Miguel Oliveira, the battered and bruised Miguel Oliveira, struggling with a nasty right hand injury after a heavy crash in FP1. Rins, Pedrosa and Pol Espargaro go from row 5. Then Binder, Rossi, Marini on row 6. Lecuona, Bastianini and Lorenzo Savadori, who was fastest in that damp session on Friday afternoon. And Danilo Petrucci sadly out of a ride. Likewise, Iker Lecuona for 2022. Are they both World Superbike bound next season? Well, we'll find out. And there, of course, is the very familiar pre-Styrian Austrian Grand Prix site of the Dorna CEO, Carmelo Espeleta, fully embracing the Austrian experience, fully kitted out in lederhosen.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. He's there with to President Hervé Poncharal. They're about to just award the best GP of 2022 the Grand Prix of Styria for their help last year.
Yeah, where's Hervé's lederhosen? Come on.
There you see Thomas Uberal receiving that. Let's pop down onto the grid and speak to Simon Crowfoot. He's with Shinichi Sahara.
I am. Shinichi-san, last night I was looking at everybody's pace and trying to get a feeling what can happen in the race. And I thought if it stayed dry, which it is so far, I think that your rider, Joan Mir, has a big, maybe the best chance I've seen to win, at least fight for the win. What do you feel?
Yes, we got the second row, the grid. This is the best grid in the season for Joan. Of course, I believe they are also, including Alex, we are very competitive in this track. So I hope the weather condition continue to dry.
Well, best of luck today.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, thanks very much to Shinichi Sahara. Of course, very much a big part of the team was Davide Brivio, now of course over in F1, and he's bringing gold to the Alpine F1 team as well. Congratulations to Esteban Ocon for his victory. And I'm sure Davide Brivio will be keeping his fingers crossed for his boys in blue here. He's still got a bit of Suzuki in the heart, and Joan Mir, as Shinichi Sahara there said, very much a big player in today's race. Now, as Matt mentioned earlier, 5 wins in 6 races here for Ducati. Can they wrestle back control of their dominance here in the hands of Bagnaia or Miller? Down to Davide Tardozzi, who's with Simon.
I'm actually with Paolo Ciabatti, and Paolo, would love to hear your thoughts. There's 4 very fast Ducati riders near the front, but your 2 factory riders really stand out as strong here. What are your feelings?
Well, you know, this is historically a good track for Ducati, but you could see this year that the competition is really we still managed to be with 4 Ducatis in the first 2 rows, which is good. And I think we have a good pace. Obviously, we were worried a little bit about the weather. Let's hope it stays dry for the whole race, because I don't think we want to see a flag-to-flag race, at least from Ducati side. Maybe spectators think different. So here, I think also Mir will be good, but I think all 4 riders with the GP21 will be very competitive. So let's see, maybe Mark can do good. Maybe for him would have been better wet condition, because he's still not 100%. But for sure an exciting race. It will not be easy for us to repeat the good results, but I think we have a good chance.
Best of luck.
That's on the grid at the moment.
I was just about to say, actually, that's as relaxed I've seen Marc Marquez pre-race for quite some time. We've got fans, thankfully, back through the gates here this weekend in Austria and next weekend, but still we welcome the virtual fan wall. Fans gathered all around the world, of course, keeping a close eye on proceedings here in Austria.
Mario Meregali standing by. What does he think of the chances of Fabio Quartararo from 3rd? A bit of a job for Maverick Vinales, though, from the 3rd row. Down to you, Simon.
Yes, really would like your thoughts, Mayo, on both of your riders today. I mean, Fabio's been so fast. He's on the front row. You're an ex-rider. How difficult is it going to be to fight those Ducatis here today?
Well, if it is dry, I think we have some good possibility to do well. We came here with an aim, and at the moment we are maintaining what we expect. I really hope that the race will be dry. You know, here it's quite tricky and even dangerous. So let's wait first of all for a dry race, and it will be probably difficult. They have to manage the tire. Also, the fuel consumption is quite difficult. But all the information we gathered during this weekend are good, and now it's just up to them. Maverick, a part of the time attack. He did really great sessions, good pace. He has to do a good start and then he has the pace. So we are quite confident if everything will remain like this. On the wet this morning, Maverick finished with the third best lap, and he was quite happy. We had some problem with Fabio, especially when the circuit started drying. The bike was a bit difficult to handle, and we work a bit, but now it's very difficult.
Last thing, you mentioned managing tyres. I imagine rear, but is it also front they have to manage?
It's difficult. No, I think the drop will be on the rear more than on the front. Huh? Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks to Massimo Marigali, thanks Simon as well. Interesting when the tyre sheet came out for the riders that made their way onto the grid. Of course, that could have changed since then. Marc Marquez was the only rider to have opted for a soft rear tyre.
Yeah, that means he's going to try and get his head down, be aggressive at the start and then attack. Well, perfect timing as we're talking about tyres and their influence that they'll have on this Austrian Grand Prix. Let's find out what the riders are thinking in terms of a dry race right now. Simon's with Michelin Motorsport boss Piero Taramasso. Down to you, Simon.
I am. Piero, please give us some insights on rider tyre choices and why.
Yes, so it looks like a dry race, so this is good news, it's much more easy. About tyre choice, on the front we are 50-50, half with the hard front, half with the medium. The difference, the hard one gives you better stability because the hard braking in turn 1, turn 4. The rear, this morning everybody was with the medium rear, but because now the temperature is a little bit lower, some rider they switch to the soft. So for the moment we have Marc, Bagnaia, Zarco with the soft rear, all the rest with the medium. But maybe before the start somebody else will switch with the soft, but the majority they will stay with the medium on the rear because the grip is good, stability and consistency, and they did a lot of laps during the weekend.
Piero, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. We have a good race.
Yeah, thank you very much to Piero Taramasso. Interesting then, it sounds like Bagnaia and Zarco have changed to a soft rear as well ahead of a 28-lap race. Here's Taka Nakagami, qualifying down in 10th, not ideal, but if he can get a good start, just cast your minds back to last year where he was in the hunt for victory behind Joan Mir before that red flag came out. He's a big fan of the Red Bull Ring layout.
Not really satisfied with a 10th place on the grid, particularly after a lightning start to the return from the summer break. He topped FP1 in probably the best condition we've had all weekend in those sunny conditions.
The riders getting themselves prepared then. We're 10 minutes away from a race start here in MotoGP, and luckily, as Piero Taramasso just said, no sign of any rain at the moment. But it does say, anyway on my mobile phone, that it is going to in about 15-20 minutes, which would be certainly alluding to the fact that we may well even have a flag-to-flag here.
Yeah, in the morning warm session this morning, 20 minutes, we saw countless practice flag-to-flag bike swaps. A tough 28 laps coming up for Miguel Oliveira. A damage to his right hand after that big crash early on in FP1. What are the prospects of KTM in their home Grand Prix? Well, I'm delighted to say we can find out because Piet Byra is with Simon down on the grid.
He is, Piet, really curious just before the race what you're hoping to salvage from today. Qualifying wasn't perfect, but now we're at the race.
Well, I mean, I'm first of all happy that Miguel is even standing here next to me because yeah, it was a bad Friday, but he's okay. He has pain, he's okay. But I think in the race, he can really forget about the pain. Now we need a good start.
Do you mind telling us exactly what it is, the injury? I know you've spent some time at the hospital with him.
They call it a bone bruise, so there's nothing broken. But the handlebar hit him by he got the high side. The handlebar was hitting him into the hand. So the injury came basically from the handlebar, not from hitting the ground. So very small things you see on the cartilage, and there was some liquid inside, so it was definitely very painful, but nothing broken, no ligament damage, so he has to handle the pain. I'm sorry for him, but he's a strong man and he has to do it today.
And your other riders, can you give us your thoughts on what you hope?
Yeah, I mean, all of them. I mean, Dani is doing a fantastic job coming back into this hot field of riders where everything is so close. riding faster lap times than he ever did in his first part of his career, coming back on that level. And no, it's great. Brad, yeah, he always struggles to make this one fast lap. We know he's very strong in a race, but he needs better qualifying to perform on the level where he can perform. You cannot always pass a lot of these guys in the beginning of the race. So yeah, and with Iker and Danilo we had a bad Saturday, so they are for sure not happy where they are. So we had mixed feelings going into the weekend, but I think Miguel is going to do a very strong race. I have a good feeling for a very strong start, and then from there we go.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Am Gebirg, das hoch in Wolken ragt, wo die Kohlenglut und des Hammers Kraft starker Hände Schweiß das Eisen zeugt, wo noch Eichen stehen, Krähen und Feuer von Soft, die noch nie ein Sturmwind hat gebeugt. Dieses schöne Land ist der Steierland, ist mein liebes, teures Heimatland. Dieses schöne Land ist der Steierland, ist mein viel geliebtes Heimatland.
So the clock ticks down. The riders getting ready for action. Up goes the 5-minute board. Valentino Rossi, are there just 9 races left of his illustrious and distinguished career that's brought 9 world championships, 115 wins, but joy to the hearts of millions of MotoGP fans, and a celebratory day in many respects of Pol Espargaro. Things not going his way on track, but it's his 200.
Pol Espargaro would have been hoping, of course, at the start of the year we'd be coming to Austria with him having a great chance of winning. He loves this circuit. He did so well, of course, in the colours of KTM. Valentino Rossi fans there hoping for a dream ride from Valentino. He's only had 1 top 10 finish so far this season, and all things considered, I think he'd take that if he could get it here today. There are 5 minutes roughly to go until we're ready to race. The warm-up lap will be in under that. Fabio Quartararo third on the grid for him. Another front row start for the World Championship leader. He'll be keeping his eyes on the sky right now, but it's dry to begin with. The question is, is he going to get blasted away by the Ducatis?
That is the key factor, isn't it? The climb up the hill to first corner. Quartararo has got to nail the start, and then it'll be so hard to overtake. He knows that. Everybody knows that. The Ducati so strong previously here in the Red Bull Ring, although previous circuits where they were hotly tipped for glory, Qatar and Mugello and Barcelona, well, it didn't really go their way, did it? Johann Zarco, what lies in store for one of the 2 flying Frenchmen in this 2021 MotoGP World Championship? Can he make any inroads into that 34-point deficit he has to compatriot Quartararo?
Riders prepare. We're getting closer and closer to action here. A 28-lap race. We've seen so many brilliant battles in the past here. Matt, of course, the fantastic rivalry between Marc Marquez and Andrea Dovizioso. Last year's Grand Prix of Styria was an absolute thriller at the last corner. What is in store today?
Yeah, 3 times in 6 MotoGP races here in Austria. It's all gone right down to the wire. Let's hope it's the same over the next 28 laps and 45 minutes or so as the grid starts to clear. The tension ramps up, the pressure builds. Jorge Martin on pole for the 2nd time in just his 6th MotoGP start. Can he take what would be a sensational first victory in MotoGP?
A tribute there to the late great Fausto Grassini, of course, who he won his Moto3 championship with back in 2018. The 23-year-old from Madrid has taken to MotoGP like a duck to water, and despite that huge crash in Portugal, and despite the fact he's not 100% fit, he just seems so calm and relaxed in MotoGP at the moment. Here's your front row then. Fabio Quartararo, your World Championship leader on the Monster Energy Yamaha, looking to defend a 34-point lead, fighting the World Champion Joan Mir and the Ducati boys. Two of them ahead of him on the grid as well. Pecco Bagnaia, number 63, is his